This meeting is being recorded.
There we go. So in accordance with Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023 signed by Governor Healy, this meeting of the Lunenburg Open Space Committee is going to be conducted via remote participation only via Zoom. And the Zoom link and everything was posted. See if I can find it here real quick. I'll read it off to you. Webinar ID 792-737-0353. And as usual, this is being recorded and it will be available on the Lunenburg YouTube channel after the meeting is over. And it's also being, it's live on Facebook Live on the Public Access Facebook page. So I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have a quorum, which is great. We have one primary discussion item. This meeting is kind of a special meeting of this committee at the request of the select board. And they want to get the open space committee's input on the discussion of the two lots at 20 Kilburn, lots 1 and 3. There are 3 lots. Lot 2 is also in the center, and then there's a big remainder of the parcel there was a right of first refusal filed on behalf of the property owners for both of those lots. One is to sell and convert out of Chapter 61, and the other is just to convert out of Chapter 61. So I have some maps. If you guys want me to bring those up, we can share some of those. Let me flip to the map first. Okay. No, I'm probably sharing. Yep, there we go. So this is one of the 2 letters that the attorney for the property owners delivered, supposedly delivered to folks in Ritter Building at a town hall. We, the Open Space Committee, actually never got a copy of this directly. Mary, I want to thank you for sending this over to me. It was only because of the chatter back in late June that we realized this was occurring, and we had already met. So we didn't have this information at the time that we met. So this is for the one lot. This is the notice of intent to sell and convert out of Chapter 61, and this is for, I think this was lot 3.
It's
Lots 1 and 3. Lot 2 is a conversion. I'll bring that one up in a minute. So just a bunch of stuff I want to get down to the plan so we can talk about this. A little difficult to see, but this is lot 1 along Leominster Road. This is lot 2, which is the subject of just the conversion. And then this is lot 3, which is actually off Kilburn Street. So the remainder of this property is not the subject of this conversion out of Chapter 61. So this all remains in chapter, I imagine.
Mike, I did have a question about the remaining land. I agree that it seems like that's the intent. Typically, landowners, when they do these partial conveyances, or if they convey the entire parcel subject to Chapter 61, they typically file an affidavit that says their intention is to keep the remaining land in Chapter 61B in this case.
Mm-hmm.
We're making sort of an extraordinary assumption here that that's what they're doing because they did not state their intention that that's what they're doing. And it does feel like it would be important point of clarification for the town to confirm with the sellers, preferably in writing, that they're not in fact intending to withdraw the entire parcel from Chapter 61 so that, or 61B rather, so that we preserve our rights over that remaining land should future action to withdraw take place or
Okay.
future conversion take place.
Brandon, can you take notes while
I
you're
am taking
doing
notes.
that? Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Yeah, and as you pointed out, that it's the remainder actually that has stop this share for a second and go to this other. Graphic here. This is just from the town GIS system, the assessor's office GIS system. So this is the entirety of the parcel that we're talking about. So lots 1 and 2 are over here in this corner. Lot 3 is up here in this area, somewhere right along in here in this area. So this is the remainder of the parcel. These 2 parcels, this numbered 6 down here and number 2 down here, are the 2 town-owned parcels.
Michael, I believe there's a little kind of skinny triangular one slightly up above. I think it's labeled 8 here. I believe that's also town-owned.
Correct.
Okay. This one up here? No.
Nope. Sort of in the central eastern part of.
Oh, here. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, a little sliver.
Yeah. Yeah, rear land. Okay. So there are 3 parcels that abut this bigger area. Most of this is wetlands area back in here, the town parcels. But I think that was not knowing what was being converted when we had the discussion at our meeting back in July, because we didn't have this information. Our assumption was they were talking about the entire parcel.
Right.
And that turns out to not be a correct assumption. They're talking about cutting 3 lots out of the frontage of this larger parcel. So that was, I know, Brandon, you brought that up when we were talking about it. You know, this remainder meets what, 5 or 6 criteria. And it's unfortunate in a way that the prime farmland is up here. So some of this remainder is prime farmland, but the areas that they're converting are also the prime farmland.
Can you turn on the aerial? It's just because I think it's all wooded. I think the farmland's related to parcel 6, but I might be wrong.
I just looked at the prime farmland soils maps. What I did. I don't usually drive this bus, Brandon. So
yeah.
And Mike, if I could ask Brandon, what are the criteria that they meet? I mean, I know there's some adjacency there, but I wasn't aware that it met any of the other criteria.
Yeah, so it's the size of the parcel itself, the adjacency, the prime farmland. There are not statewide significant habitats there, but there's an interesting habitat mix. So I think you could make an argument that they are significant habitats with the wetlands that are adjoining Massafog Pond in the wetlands complex that goes all the way up to Kilburn Street. And then I believe that stretch of Leominster Road is actually designated scenic road for town of Lunenburg. So
I think lot 1 might currently be a hayfield.
These are the wetlands of local significance, so it's a lot of this parcel.
Right. It's amazing what a little bit of information would have helped us handle this at our last meeting.
Yeah.
I say that as just a point. What I would like to do also as part of our vote tonight, and I'll make this as a motion. I will make the motion that we actually waive our right of first refusal on these. We encourage the town to waive its right of first refusal on these 3 lots. But I also have 2 other things that I want to make as part of the motion. Number 1 is that we encourage the boards that have a statutory a requirement to be notified, make it part of their standard practice to forward any such notifications open space committee so that we can, in a timely way, provide meaningful feedback, particularly to our planning board, which is our advisory, the board that we are supposed to advise on these matters. So my motion would be that the planning board in particular forward in a timely manner any such request that it receives for any such Chapter 61 withdrawal at all in the future to the Open Space Advisory Committee, so that we can make a timely advisory to the planning board and to other town boards. That's the first part. The second part is, it's frustrating to me that it continues to happen, that we allow subdivisions of Chapter 61 parcels to take place while they are enrolled. So I would make a strong recommendation to the planning board that any parcel that's greater than 5 acres that comes before them for a subdivision should be confirmed not to be enrolled in any of the Chapter 61 programs, confirming that with the town assessor. It's a simple ask. If you look it up on the assessor's database, it shows up, the land use code shows up. We should at least be confirming before we are approving a subdivision whether or not these parcels are in Chapter 61, in some form of Chapter 61. That will give us further advance notice. Time is of the essence in all of this stuff. And so it's frustrating to me that we still don't have that simple procedural check as part of our typical review of subdivisions that happen at the planning board.
So that's a very good point, Brandon. Mary and I talked about this with regard to the Conservation Commission as well. We talked to Sophie about this being one of the standard items that she takes a look at when a filing comes in. I can talk to Logan. Glenn, if you're on, you can unmute. You could talk to Logan too, who's our new administrator, and have that added to his list of things when a package comes in, just to do a quick check and see if it's enrolled.
Yes, makes perfect sense.
Okay, thank you.
So do we think that the issue with the planning board not reviewing this before it comes in front of them is that they have a manpower personnel type of challenge, or that they just disagree with us fundamentally on it?
I think it's the former, Mary.
Okay.
You know, we're minded. Well, we have a temporary or a stand-in planner right now, but we're minus a long-time town planner. The assistant seat Logan just filled that seat a month ago, 2 months ago. And Annie wasn't in it, that was in it for a while before that. So it's the turnover, I think, has hurt. It's the same situation that you guys and Sophie were in, trying to play catch up after not having somebody in the office.
Yeah. This one, as I understand it, was particularly convoluted about the notification, but the notification itself happened after the fact and seemed to have been a problem, but the plans and plan review happened way back in March. So that was a definite miss, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's been some question, at least in my mind, as to whether or not the notice was actually served properly. There was never any proof given before the select board that someone actually signed, to accept this over at the Ritter building. And as you know, from the emails that were flying back and forth, everybody was saying, I didn't see anything. So,
yeah,
it just it's kind of weird. And of course, the select board's already voted because the one lot, the 30 days lapsed or something. And so they've already voted to, not exercise the right of first refusal on that first lot. So, okay. Brandon framed a motion. Sounds comprehensive to me. Anybody want to add or modify it before we move it forward?
Do you mind if I just ask a kind of a quick question?
Yeah.
I know we're sort of mostly focused on the procedural questions here, but I'm looking at lots 2 and 3, and they're kind of centered around this driveway for this adjacent property. And when I look at an aerial view, I mean, that area is currently looks like it's being used as a hayfield. Does this have any kind of bearing? Is that something that the Agricultural Commission would weigh in on? You know, I'm not as familiar with the requirements here, but you know, if we're talking about taking an area out of agricultural use into residential use. Just wondering if that here I can oh no, I can't share my screen.
Well, I don't want to speak on behalf of the Agricultural Commission because I'm not on it, but I would hope that other boards would afford the Agricultural Commission a similar courtesy of a review of these things. If the Agricultural Commission is interested in the review of these things, to be able to provide their input. So I think it's a good point, Eric, but I guess I would leave that to the Agricultural Commission to speak up for themselves.
It's
Okay.
interesting, lots, those 2 lots in particular in that corner, Eric, they are not mapped as prime farmland soils. The prime farmland soils start kind of in the middle part that's not being converted and go up towards Kilburn Street towards lot 3.
Okay.
So
That's the end of my
okay.
comments on Brandon's motion. Otherwise, I'll be willing to second the motion.
Before we do, Mary and Glenn, anything? You guys all
Nothing
set?
for me. Yeah, all set.
Okay.
Nothing.
All right. So we have a motion, we have a second. So I'll do a roll call vote. Brandon?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
Glenn?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
And I for the chair as well. So we'll make the recommendation as put in the motion to not exercise right of first refusal with the other stipulations that Brandon put in the motion. Okay.
So just for my education, and I didn't want to cloud the motion itself because I don't think it's pertinent to the recommendation, but even if we had wanted to make a recommendation to purchase, aren't we just so far underwater with regard to schedule that it's not practical at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
I considered not making a motion tonight in advance of this conversation and abstaining in objection to the way this has been handled. But decided rather I want to make sure that we get the process right going forward.
Yeah.
Especially given, if this, my blood pressure went down when I realized they were not pursuing, or it doesn't appear that they're pursuing the removal of the entire parcel. Had that been the case, then I think we would have missed a pretty important opportunity. And it's important to remember that the town provides a 75, what the statute affords these landowners a 75% reduction in their property taxes for having the land enrolled in Chapter 61B. That means the town collects only 25% of the taxes it's owed on a Chapter 61B property for many years. And one of the things the town gets back for that is not only does the land remain open and not developed, but the town gets in return this right of first refusal. We pay for it from a reduced taxes standpoint. So the town shouldn't be so cavalier to give away something of value that it has on these parcels that it's paid for by these reductions in taxes. So anybody who thinks that, that this is we just need to act because it's in the landowner's best interest. Yes, we need to be prudent about it, but we have a right here that we earned through payment. That's not insubstantial amount of money that we forego with these reductions in property taxes. So
I guess my frustration, I think well put, Brandon. My frustration with the whole process is it seems like the cards are stacked against us. And with the town administration and the personnel issues that we have that are long-standing, it seems like this is not going to get fixed anytime soon.
this is and you know, and the timelines are statutorily set, right? They're set by statute. So we have it's a limited wick on that bomb.
Right.
And so, you know, so if we're going to act, we need as much notice as we can get. And so a simple procedural thing of, you know, you get a subdivision request in for a parcel that's in order to get in chapter 61B or 61A, you have to have at least 5 acres. 61, you need to have at least 10 acres. So if any subdivision comes in for a parcel of 5 acres or greater, just quickly check and see if it's enrolled in chapter 61. If it is, let everybody know. and then we could say, hey, there might be something coming up here we should be aware of. And we can do a little homework. Rather than waiting until one of these, you know, notices shows up on our desk and it takes 2-3 weeks or 3 months for it to get routed to us, in the case of this one. And, you know, we've lost all the time, can't get it done. So if I sound irritated, it's because I am.
Well, I expressed our dismay at the lack of communications to town manager and to the select board.
Yeah.
You know,
Thank you.
it would have been just very simple for them to, you know, give us a heads up, but
as a courtesy,
there's no courtesy.
Right.
Yeah. Because, and I'll say this in open meeting here, because the current tenor on the select board is they feel that we have enough open space and enough conservation land in this town, and they're not at all inclined to increase open space or conservation land.
I appreciate that might be their opinion, but it's their opinion, and they should leave it to the townspeople to make those decisions, because any of these things have to go to town meeting. They have to go to town meeting. So they have their chance to have their say. Give the townspeople their say.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're all set with that one. I don't see anyone on other than us. So I'll just call for if there's any public comment, but I don't see anyone in the waiting room or otherwise. Okay. I threw the next one on just so that we could just cover ourselves. We have upcoming meeting schedules of August 14th and September 11th. We can, if you want, we can forego the August meeting since we're meeting tonight, or we can keep it on. As I mentioned, I think at our last meeting in July, that I will not be available for the August meeting.
I'm also not available August 14th.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Let's drop it.
Okay, we'll drop August 14th. I'll let the other members know. I have not gotten any word back from Parks about whether or not there's a new member. We're supposed to have a new member from Parks, so we'll have a full slate of 7, because Anna now is community member because she's no longer on the Parks Commission. So, but I'll let I sent an email to the chair of the Parks Commission just inquiring as to where that stands right now. September 11th, is that okay with everybody? I know that's kind of a tough date for some.
I believe I'm available.
Okay.
Not my favorite.
Yeah.
Should be a holiday.
Glenn, Eric, you guys good with September 11th for right now? Just keep it. We can always email each other.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's do that. Anything else that the members want to bring up while we have a minute?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Oh, okay. Eric's microphone is out. So, all right, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Okay, Brandon,
Aye.
Mary,
aye.
Glenn,
Aye.
Oh,
Thank
there we
you.
go.
Eric's microphone is out, I believe. I will vote aye, and that's fine. We have 4 of the 5 of us. We'll write down Eric had to abstain because of technical issues.
Oh, is he not able to chat? Can't he vote by chat? I mean, it doesn't really matter because we already have a majority.
Yeah, we're
but-
good. Right.
Yeah,
He's not going to vote to not adjourn.
I wasn't really worried about it. I mean, since I have to chair these meetings too, I have to deal with that kind of stuff. It was more me thinking out loud.
Yeah,
Sorry
that's
about
okay. All right. Thank you all for putting up with this and for coming this evening. I appreciate it.
Great to
Thank
see
you
you
all.
all. Thank you very much.
Just
Bye.
shoot me some notes, Brandon, and I'll send something over to the select board because they have a meeting next Tuesday night, is it?
You'll have them in 5 minutes.
Thank you, sir.
You bet.
All right, take care.
Talk to you later.